कंपनी है राइट जो इतने सालों से उसने एक बिल्ड किया अपना ब्रांड राइट, और वो इतनी ज्यादा पूरी दुनिया में वो चलती है, और वन फाइन डे एक वायरस आता है उसका नाम है कोरोना वायरस, और वो ब्रांड का नाम भी कोरोना है, जो कि कोरोना बियर की हम बात करें, ओवरनाइट सेल्स बंद हो जाती हैं। अब यार ये एक्ट ऑफ गॉड बोलो, एक्ट ऑफ नेचर बोलो, अब ये किसी के साथ भी हो सकता है ना, कल कोई कोई भी ब्रांड के नाम पे कोई वायरस आ गया तो व्हाट डू दे डू, लाइक इफ यू आर the brand head or the CEO of Corona beer, what do you do right now?
Interesting question that you've asked about Corona beer, right? What would I do if I were the CEO or the brand head, and how should a brand react? I think history often has answers to such questions, and we often can look back at the mistakes of others to learn. We need not commit the same mistakes if others have already done it and learned some costly lessons from those. So I would like to throw up a story about another brand which had the very same dilemma, and I'll tell you how they reacted to it. So this was a brand in the US that had been flourishing since the 1930s. It had multi-$100 million sales, huge brand. It was a candy brand. They used to sell candies, and the name of the brand was AIDS, right? So the candy itself was called AIDS, and amazing sales, amazing product. They used to do all kinds of shenanigans while selling their product, as if they would position it as a candy that would help you lose weight. That was an anti hunger candy and stuff like that. But as soon as this outbreak started in the 1980s, when this disease came up and suddenly American doctors just called it AIDS, these guys were faced with the same question: what should we do? But the management team and the CEOs and owners, they all remained unfazed. They said that why should we change the name? I think the doctors will change the name of the disease. So they just waited for the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control in the US, to actually change the name or come up with a better name. Of course, that's the stuff of dreams, and that never happened. AIDS is what stuck around. And within a few years, the sales were less than half of what they used to be a year back. And over time, the brand was in a very, very big soup. It got sold off, and even the company that acquired could not maintain market share with the name. So they panicked and they rebranded it to Diet AIDS. They thought that adding a name adding something as a prefix would really help them, but even that didn't help, and ultimately it led to huge losses for the business. So in retrospect, like sitting here today, we can always blame them and say that it's so obvious, you should obviously change your name. But back then it wasn't so obvious because that brand was thinking that we have built our brand equity for 50 years with our consumers. Our consumers know us as AIDS. Just because one stupid disease came up in Africa, should we really change our name and destroy all of that equity? But I think history has repeatedly told us the answer to that question is, and the answer is that yes, you should. You shouldn't even think twice about it. There are other cases also. There was a company called ISIS Wallet, and right after ISIS became popular, that company ended up shutting down in a branded fiasco, right? One company that has navigated this really well is, of course, Tata, like someone has pointed out in the chat. So yeah. Tata was launching Tata Zika, and suddenly this virus outbreak happened. Zika virus came up, and they were very smart in crowdsourcing names. So Tata actually launched a crowdsourcing competition globally to ask for new names for the new car. And they got over 5,000 responses. They shortlisted and ultimately came up with Tiago. So I think, and right now, which is why we actually see Tiagos on the road rather than, looking at it in the graveyard. So I think the answer is very clear given the things that we've seen happening in history. It's that we should immediately go for a revamp, and before that, of course, honestly and transparently communicate with customers also.
यार इमेजिन करो ना यार साहिल, कोई ये पूछे कि यार अगर उन्होंने नाम चेंज ना किया होता, इमेजिन वी जस्ट सेइंग यार मुझे एड्स देना यार. it is just mind boggling. And yeah, I just want to bring this again topic, but this is an act of nature, act of it can happen to कल किसी का भी ब्रांड हो 50 years 100 years in the legacy and there is a virus or there is something that happens and उसके नाम पे अगर आ गया, तो you suggest that it is a no-brainer, just change your brand name overnight. That is what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think the results have really shown that if you don't, the only place for you is in the graveyard.
There's another question on startups. So I think since Minimalist is a startup, I think we would love to take this. How is the effect of pandemic will be different on well-established companies in comparison to startups? What's your take there on this?
Right. There are, even in startups and well-established corporates, I think there's a few grades actually. So I'll try to answer in grades. When it comes to early stage startups, a lot of investors and VCs have opined that companies with runways of less than 6 months might face a very tough time. More than 25% of the companies who are early stage might not even survive the next 12 months. So this pandemic will definitely sound the death knell for a lot of young businesses. And in fact, it brings up a very big irony. So heavily funded, profligate companies that were spending money left, right, center, all of these typical funded startups, they might just survive because they have heckloads of cash piled up in their bank, right? Because they raised huge money and they did a lot of blitz with their spend. Whereas smaller companies which are working in a very disciplined way, which are always cash flow positive, always profitable, unfortunately, it is those businesses that might really take a hit. So in fact, we also as a company are not funded. We are all self-sustained. We're running on cash flows, and typically such businesses are very small runway. So in fact, those are the businesses which are smaller in runways, which depend on month-on-month cash flows. Those are the kinds of companies that are going to be really hit hard. In fact, the hardest hit will be the companies in that space which are in the exposed industries like travel, tourism, hospitality, high contact industries. When it comes to corporates, I think by virtue of having large runways, I think most of them will be secure, except the ones again which are in high touch industries. But again, here, what will really define success is how quickly they are able to get back up on their feet and innovate. Because it's been seen that even in big corporates, something as simple as coming on a Zoom call is turning out into a really big challenge. People are not able to unmute themselves, carry out effective meetings for an hour. So if the pace of change in an organization is like a snail, then managing the new normal is going to be extremely difficult, no matter how large your coffers are. So corporates which are agile in decision making, agile in transforming to digital technologies, using e-telephony or big data, web portals are really going to make
to ensure that building credibility. I'll just come back to you. I just want to bring Sahil at this time.
More than COVID-19, I think the bigger pandemic today is fake news. And if you try to measure who all have been affected by it, you don't even need to test because all of us are positive when it comes to fake news. I mean, it's so prevalent right now that it just recently as part of an entrepreneurs group on WhatsApp, and I received a forward about a webinar that was conducted by Raghuram Rajan. And I got all the minutes of the meeting, like a proper 5-10 page document about how India is unaffected by COVID and hundreds of other facts that apparently Raghuram Rajan said, but then Raghuram Rajan himself rubbished that news. And the worst part is that even Business World had published an article on key takeaways from Raghuram Rajan's webinar. So I think fake news is a bigger virus that we need to treat, and we need to distance ourselves from this fake news more than we need to distance ourselves from each other. And I think one response over there on how to really tackle this pandemic is to question every piece of news that we get. I think India is a very forward-thinking nation when it comes to WhatsApp, and we should really look at every forward that we get and question it, like, where is it coming from? What's the source? Is this authentic? Do I have contrary sources? So I think, that's one of the opinions that I also had, which is very important for each one of us to follow every time we get a forward on WhatsApp, because more often than not, there's no source behind it. It's just gossip. In fact, one more very hilarious story. One stock advisor was once told that, hey, you know what? Chennai Petroleum ke stocks khareed lo. It's gonna boom a lot because Warren Buffett is investing in it. So this investor was wondering, why would, out of all the best businesses in the world, why would Warren Buffett come and invest in Chennai Petro? And as it turns out, it was actually China Petro. But the conventional Chinese whisper happened and someone said Chennai Petro. And ultimately, people are buying Chennai Petroleum stocks, which ultimately crashed. So I think, we need to question every piece of information that comes our way. And that is the need right now.